Hello everybody, this is Jeffrey GT7 and welcome to the episode. In this episode is going to be a special request that I found at GT Planet. It's going to be using the Nissan Silva K at the Expressway with both the Corvette and the GTR Nismo engine swap. So I'll be first going to go through the Corvette engine swap first, and after we get done with the Corvette swap, we'll then switch gears and do the Nismo GTR swap. But I'll be showcasing on how I find this car. Also, the two liveries I'll be showcasing, the parts you'll need for both cars and both gameplays. So hopefully this will help out, especially if it won Tokyo just yet. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the episode. So the first part is going to figure out how to find the car. You can actually find this car at the used car dealership. I'm not too sure if you can also get this car from the vanilla campaign store mode or not. I could be wrong, but I would recommend going ahead and get this car now at the used car dealership if you don't have it. That way you'll grab it before it actually sells out. For both cars, make sure you have both cars set to wide body for both the Corvette and for the GTR Nismo build. After you get that installed, we're going to go ahead and add the Corvette C7 engine swap first. If you're a collector level 50 like I am in the game, this will give you a chance to buy ultimate parts and some certain parts for cars. If you don't have it, then just go to your garage and see if you have it at your home. Here's the livery I'll be using for this race. Now if you do not want to copycat this livery, I'll showcase the parts. Here is the rims for this particular livery, so just make sure you just copycat what you see on the screen. After you get those rims on that car, the next following parts is going to be type A for the front bumper. For the side, it's going to be type A as well. For the rear bumper, even though for the livery it does call for a type B, it's going to be standard for the rear bumper for this car, and then for the wing it's going to be type B, and that's going to be it for your parts. So before we show you guys the tune, here's the parts you'll need. Sport mediums for the sport categories for this car, power restrictor, ballast, fully controlled computer with fully customized LSD, fully customized manual transmission, and increased vibration. And here's what the tune is going to look like with the Corvette C7 swap. So just make sure you just copy down the numbers you see on the screen, and you should be good to go. Should not be too technical overall. Should be pretty easy to put together for the first part. Now for the other part of the list, for the Corvette swapped, just increased vibration is the other part of that list, as you see right there, and that's going to be it for the first build. So after we get done with this tune list, let's go ahead and check out the race for the Corvette. Now I would say the good thing about this Corvette swapped is that the car is pretty quick. Like, you really shouldn't have any issues when it comes to straight line performance. Should be maybe the fastest overall when it comes to pure speed. Now, even though you can't see the fuel map, we'll be on fuel map 1 for this whole entire race. And the laps to pit for both this swap and for the GTR Nismo swap is going to be lap 7. So I'm going to go ahead and add that there to the bottom of the screen. That way you'll know for sure what lap to try to pursue to pit on. For this Corvette, if you did see the list, it does have a lot of torque. So the rear of the car might be a little bit on the loose side. So I'll just say just be careful on that if you decided to race this on steering wheel or controller. Now I am driving this on controller for both swap builds. But if you're on the wheel, just be a little bit extra careful. You might need to put traction on control for both these cars, possibly. If not for both these cars, I know for sure the Corvette, you'll probably have to put traction if you decide to do it on the wheel. Just seeing how loose it gets, plus it's an FR drivetrain, so that's probably part of it. But I think the reason why it does that is because of just how much torque it has coming from that engine. But for our first lap, not too bad. I would have liked to be within the top 3 by now, if I'm being honest with this car. I think it's just because of the way the age of the car is probably one reason that's not doing as good as I thought it would be, and plus handling is not the best either. It feels a little bit weird, if I'm being honest, of how it drives and not being able to really grip or connect. So But as you can see, by the end of the first lap, we will get P2 once we get the first lap done. So that's a good start for us overall for this car. And once we get done for the first lap, it will take us, I'm pretty sure it's either the halfway part of lap 2 or into lap 3 for us to have a chance at the race lead. So here we are, we have caught up with the Honda NSX. We're going to try to make a move. We actually do make contact a little bit, and unfortunately it does mess us up a little bit, but we thankfully do get a good set of corners through here, and we're going to retake the lead and basically run away from it from the rest of the group. Now we're going to go ahead now fast forward to lap 10. It's going to be our scheduled hot lap. As you can see on the top right, we actually did manage to hit the pit road, as you can see right there. So like I said, lap 7 is going to be our magic lap to pit. So I'll let you guys watch this hot lap, and then I'll see you guys when we get to the end of the race. So as we finish up the race, the car overall, it did decently good. Pretty quick on the straights. Took me a little while to get used to it, but once I did, it felt pretty good. So it's going to be a 25:15 for our total time for the first run. For our next run, we're going to be including the GTR Nismo engine swap for this particular car. So it's going to be the same process, just like before, just with a different engine swap. So after you equip the engine swap, of course, the next part is going to be the livery and parts for this car, which I went ahead and pre-made. So here it is right here. If you want to have it for your GTR Nismo engine swap, here it is right here. And just like before, if you're curious to see what the parts consist of for this car, here it is right here. So it's basically the same rims from the first build is what we'll be using for this car. I just like how it looks on the car. It looks really good. Front bumper is going to be Type B. After you get that equipped, the side's going to be Type A. For the rear bumper, it's going to be Type B. And then for the wing, it's going to be custom wing set. And that's going to be it for your parts. Now, let's go to the tuning shop to see what parts you need. We're going to be using Sport Hard tires for our tires. Club Sports is going to be the power restrictor plus ballast. And then for the last part, your racing parts is going to be the custom LSD, custom fully manual transmission, and the increased vibration, and that's going to be it. For the tune itself, it's going to be pretty much the same as it was with the first build, but it should not as complicated, I don't think. So if you want to go ahead and just pause the episode, copy the numbers, and you should be good to go. Here's the other part of the list. As you can see, just like the first go around, we have the increased vibration, and that's going to be it for the tune itself. And I would say for this particular tune, it was a little bit different than the Corvette one. The Corvette one was a lot faster, and the rear of the car was a bit loose. This particular build, the car actually felt a little bit better in handling, For speed, it was decent, but I don't think it was not as quick as the Corvette. But if you're looking for something that's a bit easier to drive, this car might be a better pick out of the two compared to the Corvette. So the car itself did pretty well, and same thing like with the Corvette, it's going to be a little bit later on in the race. It's going to be lap 8 actually for this particular run, for this particular swap. So you'll go one lap further than you did with the Corvette. The car feels pretty good overall. I think it felt a bit better since we have the rear diffuser in the car and we had some more front downforce compared to the Corvette swap. And it just felt pretty good around these corners too, which really was good. So as we make our way through this next corner, we're going to try and make a move on the Porsche, which actually does work out for us, and we can now fix on the GTR and the rest of that terrain. And you know, once you just hit your marks at this track, the car, it'll come to you, and it just feels really good in some of these corners. So we've just now hit the top 5. We're trying to make a run on the P4. Kind of moved the Toyota Supra out of the way a little bit, and we got ourselves P4, and we're still, you know, kept going toward the front. There's the next car right there to worry about. It's the Impreza, and you know, the car itself actually did felt pretty nice from start to finish. As we head to that hairpin, we gotta be careful of that Toyota Supra because we know it just misses the breaking point every time. And thankfully for us, we actually did survive. We didn't get T-boned or anything like that, thankfully. The Supra was able to actually have good control for braking at that point. We're going to get ourselves a nice run on this old Impreza and try to see if we can get ourselves to P3 at the end of lap 1. As it looks like we probably could. Yes, we are. We're going to make a nice slingshot move on that Impreza and get ourselves P3 at the end of lap 1. We're going to go ahead now and fast forward to later in the race. Once we do actually get the lead away from the leader, it's going to be a bit later. But before that, we're going to fast forward to lap 3. It's going to be our hot lap for this race as well. So I'll encourage you guys to watch this hot lap, and then I'll see you guys for the end of the race. Alright, so as we finish up the race, the car felt really good from start to finish. I think it felt a bit better to drive than the Corvette swap. Might be a little bit slower overall, but it just felt pretty good. So, hope hopefully those two tunes help out. And here's a quick preview of the next two tunes. I'm going to be using the Ferrari 458 Italia at Tokyo Expressway, and then for the other car it's going to be the Aston Martin Vantage from 2018. So hopefully those two builds will help you out when that episode comes out. If you guys, matter of fact, enjoyed today's episode, why not go ahead and leave a like. If you also like to see a particular build, you're more welcome to put it in the comments below. And if you want to go ahead and pretty much add yourself to the Discord, you can. I'll add the Discord to the bottom of the description if you are interested in joining the Discord as well. So with that being said, hopefully you guys have a great rest of the day or night, or it might be. And I'll see you guys later, and take care.